those set up really quick. I'll come back before I finish the very last one so you can see how to connect them, and I'll show you how the wiring works. So one more quick cut, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, getting this done here. As you can see, we got a good couple of engines and motors set up over here. If this looks a little intimidating, don't worry, it's not actually that bad. It's just kind of starting to look full up in here is all. I ended up moving our solar panels and our bat boxes over to the front, quote unquote, of the platform, just because there was a little bit of things getting in the way over here. I was trying to set stuff up. I've already filled up this back wall. Got to put some over here. So I'm just going to make one big circuit out of it. So if you're following along, I apologize, but I ended up moving those over there. It's set up the exact same way with the cables and everything and the panels up top. Just moved them over there. So I'm getting some crazy latency. So what we're going to do is I'm going to finish this up. We got another setup to do of this. This is the down and the up motors. This is the... What directions are we facing here? This one is facing east. So this is the east and west motors. So I'm going to put the north and south facing ones over here. So I like to do them like this. The only ones you can't really do like that, of course, are the up and down ones. And I'll show you exactly how these work in a second. So just face them this way. What we're going to do is we're going to shift right click with our motors here until we see the smooth, unaltered face, or unpictured face facing us, like that. And then with the lower ones, we're going to change them so that we get the smooth, unpictured ones underneath, like this. So you shift right click till you get that, okay? And you can sort of tell which directions the arrows are facing, because the picture on the side here, the bigger, thicker piece right here, down to kind of points like it goes over and then goes boop. And this thicker piece right here is kind of the direction the arrow's facing. So if you right click, no shift, just right click on that one, you can see the arrow is facing the same way as this kind of points a little bit here. So you can kind of get a clue as to what's going on there. And you can do the same thing over here now. You can see it from underneath. So we want these to face towards each other. So over here you can see they're facing towards each other. That's pointing this way, that's pointing this way. These two are pointing back towards each other. So you want to do the same thing over here. So these two are now pointing towards these two. So you do the same thing over here. Right click, right click. There we go. So now they're pointing towards each other. So now they're facing north and south. And what this is this is what's called an inchworm drive. And there have been a million people that have done tutorials on this. But basically the way it works is this motor, when the entire frame moves, the entire frame will shift. And when that moves, it will look like this motor moves back one. It's not actually moving back. What's actually happening is it's remaining stationary and everything else is moving around it. And then what will happen is this motor will then trigger to push it back into its rightful place. So this one moves the whole platform, and then this one moves just the motor itself. And it's the same thing with all these motors. And then what happens is these motors are placed against the frame, so the frames kind of keep them in place. The only exception to that one, I'm going to point this out really quick, is the down motor over here, which you end up placing against the wall. And from what I can tell, the part of the facing side that has the arrow on it is the part that moves everything. So this is the facing side that moves stuff. You can see the little tracks and the arrow. This facing side that actually operates things, that moves things, it doesn't actually stick to anything ever. It's kind of like a cover panel from what I can tell. Because when everything moves, it just catches, well, not a cover, I'm sorry, it's more like a panel. But it catches the entire frame and it can't be moved from those treads, from what I understand. And it's just because I've seen everything get stuck a couple times. So when you put this down one over here, all the rest of the ones that move the actual frame, you can put it up in the corner like this, so that the corner can hold on to the non-facing side. But the down one you can't do that with, because when it shifts, it has to be able to go up with the frame. So what you got to do is you got to put it in the middle of the wall. So you got to bring out this arm right here that I put. You see how this little arm, this extra frame arm comes out, these three right here stick out and hold on to the back of it. And so just make sure that when you do that, you put the right covers and everything on the insides and all that kind of good stuff. That way it can work the way that it needs to work. Okay? So all the rest of them, though, the ones that actually move the frame, you can put up in the corners, which is why I'm doing it like this. And then what we do, we're on pink and dark gray here. Use a different color for each one. So right now we've got magenta for down, we've got light blue for up, we've got yellow for east. I'm sorry, we got yellow for west. And then we got lime for east. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do pink for north. So you want to do it this way. Okay? And then we will do gray for south, like that. And then what you're going to do is you get a repeater, and you point the repeater towards the second motor, the one that shifts the first one back into place. You point it towards there like that. And I do 5 clicks for my delay on those, because we don't want them to go off before the motor actually moves the whole frame. So you want the frame motor to move the frame first, and the secondary motor to move it afterwards. So you need a little bit of a delay, which is what that repeater does. And I'll demonstrate that here for you in just a moment. So we get those set up like that, and then I'm just using levers right now just to test these. So I'll put a lever here, put a lever here, right? And that way they'll trigger those motors first, and everything will be fantastic. And then we got to get some power going on, and I'm put those up in the front, those power ones up in the front, so that I can make a complete circuit. So I like to run the power along the bottom here. And that's a little unnecessary, I'll admit that freely right now. Actually, I think I'm going to bring this up the wall here. There we go. Yeah, just like that. I just like to make a circuit because red power, every machine of red power that uses blue electricity shares a circuit, and they will all balance between each other. So all these bat boxes will balance their power with all these motors. And over here, the up and down ones, you can put this wire up here in the corner so that this one will pass power onto this one. And then over here, it's underneath, behind here. This will pass power between these two. But these ones over here, these wires are a little bit redundant because it just looks funny. But you got to do it that way. And the reason I set this up is because I like to have as much of an unbroken circuit as possible. This over here is kind of like a broken circuit. We don't like that so much, but you can do it. So it's not a big deal. The last thing you got to do to make sure you get these motors set up properly is you got to put covers. You got to replace the panels. And put covers. Oh, friggin' really? Derp. Alright, not a big deal. Just replace it. So you put covers up there because when the entire frame shifts, when that motor pushes the whole frame, and it's going to end up right there. This one will end up right there. This one will end up right there, etc., so forth. And you got to have those covers there. That way, the frame won't actually catch onto the motor. Otherwise, it'll get stuck. If you use a panel, the panel, like as I've mentioned, will hold on to things. So that panel will catch that motor. All right. So you want to make sure to use those covers so that the secondary motor can push it back into place. So there we go. Those are all the drives really quick. All the drives are looking good, so let's test them really quick here. And you'll see the motor shift. You can't really see the outside really right now, but you can see the ground shift, or you can see the frame shift around me. So we'll go like that. There we go. We just went down. That wasn't latency. That was me moving down. Here's the up. See that? See how the one moves and then the second one pushes it back in place. Let's do east. There we go. And we'll do west. Yep. Looking good. And then we'll do south. And then we'll do north. See? That's how we do it. We got all axes up, down, side to side, up, forward, and back. And all the motors are still in place, so everything's looking fantastic as far as we're going so far. So that's how you do those. I'm now going to get rid of these, because the very last step, this thing's done, by the way, guys. Our head moves up and down, and our frame moves side to side. So we only got a couple more things to do really quick here, and we'll finish it up. So let me go do a few more tweaks. I'm going to set up the computer system, and again, I'm sorry that I keep cutting this, but I really just want to make sure to get all this in one video. So give me 1 second to go set up the last few finishing touches, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so had an awesome blunder. This is actually me doing a second voiceover recording for this video. This is actually a couple days later I went back and realized that I had actually managed to not turn my headset back on during this cut, so you get to see a message from me from the future. Ha 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 ha. And basically what I'm doing is I'm recording a voiceover so that I can narrate this little bit of piece, because when I did the last cut, I'm rolling a wireless headset and I turn it off between cuts so it doesn't battery drain on me. And so I had it switched off and forgot to turn it back on. So I'm going to narrate for you here. We're placing water blocks down. The Zirconium water block is a really amazing block, and I've got it ringing around the edge of the piston head for our platform, because what these do is these act like actual water source blocks. And what they do is when you place them, like so, lava that touches the edges of them instantly acts like they've hit water blocks. So you can see that the outside edges of the lava instantly turned into cobblestone right there. And what this is useful for is because if you have this along the edges of the frame head, as the piston pushes downwards and mines for you, any lava that it encounters will obsidianize on the outer edges and won't flow onto the platform. Which actually isn't that big a deal, honestly. The pistons will displace and break liquid source blocks, and if lava pulls down on top of this frame head as it goes down to the earth, then it won't be a big deal. It'll displace as it comes back up, but it's just there for a nice little touch. And this block in the corner here, this frame block right above the Zicorium water blocks in the corner there, is just there to prevent the piston head from moving too much higher, so it stops its upward advance. So we got everything set up here. This is bundle cabling. This multi-rainbow color looking cable is bundle cabling. It can connect to any other cables. So the magenta there can connect into it, and the blue there can connect into it. And the reason why is that way you can basically run 16 colors of cable along one track. If you put an output on the other end, and you trigger, like, let's say, up top, on the upper part of the frame here, if you trigger the blue, light blue from up top, it'll trigger the light blue down below, but it won't trigger any of the other colors. And this is actually some of the cleanest wiring I've ever done before, too. I'm actually, now that I'm looking at this, a couple days later, guys, I did a pretty good job. I did a pretty nice job with the wiring up in here. It looks like I'm going to change it around a little bit. No big deal. Some of the cleanest wiring ever. In previous frame quarries I've built, these are messy as all get out. Things are just terrible. I'm also going to take a quick minute to mention here, guys, that I did make a blunder as well in the beginning part of the video when I set up, if you'll recall, in part 1, when I set up the Applied Energistics setup so that I can pull items out of that ender chest as of head mines. You see me setting up tons of them, but really you only need a couple. What I didn't do, what I forgot to do, was there's a little marker on the right side that says pull single items or pull stacks of items. You want to switch it to pull stacks, and then the initial that I set up, the 2 or 3 for ender chests for pulling out, will work just fine. So make sure you hit those buttons when you actually go to do that. When you see me do that in the video, just sit there and go, blunder, and then laugh at me for this voiceover recording. And the voiceover recording is actually going to pick back up here in a second, so I'm actually going to stop this voiceover in a moment here. But what you're looking at me doing right now is I'm setting up a deployer and a block breaker up top with some tubes on it. So you put a redstone tube behind the block breaker facing sideways, and then a tube, regular tubes, to come back up to the deployer. So the block breaker will break the frames as the head comes back up and put them back in the deployer. So you can move your arm up and down without having a giant skyward pillar of frame arms. So basically it just stores those frames in the deployer, and then as the frame head moves down, it'll put another frame there and push it down another one. So there you go. Nice demonstration right there. Works pretty nice. Just redstone signal, breaks the block, puts in the deployer. And that ends this voiceover. So video should be picking up. Nice and simple. So he breaks the block, and he puts it back into the deployer for future use. Alright? So then what we're going to do is this whole thing is going to be computer powered. So we're going to grab a central processing unit. Oh, and you know what? I didn't even show you guys how to make the water blocks. They're pretty easy. They're just blue engineering bricks, just stone around a water bucket or a water vial or anything. These bricks are made out of Zicoridite with any kind of brick. So chiseled brick, cracked brick, mossy brick, any kind of brick around a redstone. And these are just the Zicoridite smelted, like so. Okay? And then so you get your deployer and your block breaker set up over there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put our central processing unit here. This thing is a computer craft processing unit, so you get your ribbon cable, which is made out of those fine copper wires from before. And then you get a diamond block. That's the most expensive piece of this, which is just 9 diamonds. See? And then you get 2 more of those 2 red dope wafers, which is just the silicon wafers from before with redstone in the alloy furnace. And then just any kind of planks will make your central processing unit. And then we got to get a monitor. And we'll place it right on top. The monitor is pretty easy. You get your 3 planks, 1 of the red dope wafers, 3 glass, that ribbon cable, and some lime lumar, which is 2 lime dye, a redstone, and a glowstone. That'll take care of you there. And then you will need a disk drive and an I/O expander. You could control all this with levers if you felt like it, but that would be long and involved here, so why not write a computer program? It's really simple. You just edit a couple of commands, and I'll show you exactly how to do it in a second here. So the disk drive, I guess I could, do my job here, show these really quick. The disk drive is a blue electric motor, same as the ones that we used in the motors below that I showed you earlier. A red doped wafer, one of the ribbon cables, and all the planks around the edges. And then the I/O expander is another doped wafer, a bundle cable, and a ribbon cable, and the planks. The bundle cable is just any color of the insulated cable with string around the corners. So you make a plus with the color and then string. Any color makes you the bundle cable. And those colored cables below that I used to wire up the motors are just made out of your choice of color of wool around the red alloy ingots, which are just iron or copper and for redstone in the alloy furnace. Okay? So we get that set up like that. And then what we're going to do is we got everything set up down here is all good. So this will connect to the I/O expander. The bundle cable connects to the I/O expander like that. And then this is orange, which moves everything down. The way that this is set up, this orange wire, as it goes to the side like this, it hits the motor and then goes up and then hits the deployer, so that they're both getting hit the way they need to be hit. And then for the white cable, we're hitting the motor down there, which is the up motor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this way. Okay, and we need to put a regular alloy wire right here. And the reason we do that, that's just three of the alloys, just naked. And the reason why we do that is because we get a black wool jacketed wire. It's the same as the blue one for the power, except for this is just around the alloy ingot for redstone signal. That connects like that to the block breaker. Okay, and then we get a repeater. I think I had a repeater. Yeah, there we go. We get a repeater, we stick it there like that, and then we give that a little bit of a delay. And then that way it will move up and then break the block and put it back in the deployer. So all this is doing is sending signal through to the block breaker. Okay? Simple enough. And then the last thing we're going to want to do is, we used gray before for all those last cable. We need one last color of cable. Let's take light gray. We're going to come down here, and we're going to find a section of the bundle cable that's open. I think we'll just put it over here. This should be fine. Like so. And then we're going to get a... Oh, I'm going to need that back, actually. And then what we do is we get the wireless transmitter and the wireless receiver. And these are pretty nifty. You take two stone wires, a stone wafer, an obsidian stick, and a wireless transceiver. The stone wires are just a wafer and a redstone. The wafer is just cooking smooth stone in a furnace, just smelt it. Obsidian stick is just two obsidian above each other, just like a regular stick would be. The wireless transceiver is a stick with a Reether pearl, which is a red ether, which is just an ender pearl surrounded with alternating glowstone and redstone. Get you that. And then the receiver is the exact same recipe, except for it's got the added step of having a stone bowl with the wireless receiver, which is just 3 stone. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a transmitter here. Rotate it the way it needs to face. And then all you need to do is pick a frequency. It does not matter which, as long as it's set to the same frequency as the one down here. Because we're going to put one down here as well. And we do the same thing with a wire. And we do this. There we go. To connect to all the pistons below. This is now connected to all the block breakers below us, so that we can pulse the mining head so it can mine. And then we put a receiver. Wow, that was some latency. We put a receiver like so. Maybe my mouse is acting up. Maybe that's what it is. So I don't think the game is actually lagging. I need a new mouse, guys. This one's dying on me. So we set this to the same one. You can just type in the number or click the plus sign either way. But you'll know that it's set when you actually push the set button or the plus button, and it says 1 on the side. That says 1 up there. So now gray, your gray wire is going to transmit to down here. Okay? That will pulse the mining heads. Now all we need to do really is write the computer program. Everything else is set in place the way it should be. So let's do that next. So we need to get a blank floppy. Where's the floppy disk? Oh well, let's craft it really quick here. You guys will get to see how to actually make the thing here. So I'm going to get an iron ingot. And you'll need 7 planks of any kind. And all you do is you put this right here, and then you put the iron around it like you're making wood pants with a metal leg, or a metal wood pants with a metal something, guys. Whoa! So you get your blank floppy, and then all you do is you get a piece of redstone, and you combine the redstone with the floppy, and bam, you get a 4th boot disk. And this is the operating system for the red power computers. Alright, and then you come in here and you click Start, and you can see that this will pop up. It'll say MineOS v1.2 initialize. And then the only other thing that we're going to need to do really quick here that I almost forgot to do, which would have been a horrible fail on my part, is we need to grab some frame. Just grab it out of the deployer here really quick. And we need to put this down here so that we can connect this to the monitor, like that. That way when the frame moves, the computer will go with it. And then we'll just cover this up so it looks nice and neat like the rest of our platform. Yeah, there we go. Everything's looking good. So what we're going to do is this is just going to be a really quick, simple program, guys. All we're going to do is we're just going to define some words. And I know we're pushing the video mark here. We're already longer than the other videos, so I'm just going to do this really quick. If you need to see it as done very, very in-depth, or not in-depth, but if you need to pause so you can see these, just go ahead and pause the video so you can copy this down. But what we're going to do is I'm not going to really describe exactly how this program works. We're just going to put in some simple commands here. So what we do is we type in a word. So we're going to say, in quotes, I believe it's quotes, I haven't done this in a little while. So we're going to say, oh no, you know what, it's the colon. Yeah, there we go, colon space. I'm going to say AD for arm down. You could really put this is your command word. Whatever you want to do, if you want it arm down, you could type out arm down, or you could type out AD for arm down. It's case sensitive, so whatever you type in is fine. You could put ding-a-ling-a-ding-dong, as long as you remember that's what's going to move the arm down. Whatever you want to put in there is fine. So I'm going to put AD for arm down, and then we're going to type in arm down is white. You can hit escape, by the way, so it'll come back there. Our arm down is white, isn't it? Yes. No, up is white. That was almost a fail. So let's do up first. AU for arm up, and 1 is white. And we're going to do IOX, which is the IO expander. So 1 is white, the white cable. 1 IOX set. And then you tell it to wait 5 ticks. And then you say 1 IOX reset. RST is reset. And then we're going to tell it to wait 20 ticks, which is 1 second. And then we close that with a semicolon instead of the colon at the beginning. And it'll think about it. You hit enter, it'll think about it for a second. And then if we come down here and look, we can see that these should be able to go up one more because of where I put the covers. So let's see if we can pull this up one last one. We'll just right click on it and we'll say AU. Didn't do anything. Oh, it broke the block. That's right. Because we still had that block sitting there. So let's AU again really quick here. I'm going to sit back here so we can kind of see it right here. Pulse. I saw the pulse. So we're getting pulse through here. And it is pulsing because this is a white cable. It should be pulsing this here. Why did that not come up? Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go figure this out. I'll be back in a second. I'm only cutting because we're so close to the end of this video, so hang on 1 second. Alright, guys, I'm not actually sure what was the deal, but it's working now. I went ahead and wrote the next command as well. So we got AU and AD. AD is the down, arm down, so 2 IOX set, because that's on the orange cable, as you saw behind the thing there. So orange is 2. The way that it works out is if you look at wool, like wool colors is a good way to see the colors. It doubles each time. So white is 1, orange is 2, magenta is 4, light blue is 8, 16, 32, 64, etc., and so forth. So what we come in here is we go AD is arm down, so it's just 2 IOX set, 5 ticks, and then 2 IOX reset, and then wait 20 ticks, which is 1 second. So if you look over here on the side of the camera, you can see where the block break and the deployer are. We can say AU for arm up, and it lifts it. Oh, it's already up as far as it can go. So we go AD, it's going to place the block, and it's going to go down, as you can see there. Donk. And then we can go AU and brings it up. Oh, it worked 2 seconds ago, I swear to guys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Are you playing with my fragile little heart right now? We're at the end of this long video. Oh, man. We can see it pulsing. I keep seeing this pulse. I really do. What is the deal? I wonder if it's pulsing the actual. Oh, you know what? There's no power in these. Why are there no power? Oh, this broke. How did that wire break? Well, there's your problem. I'm not quite sure how that wire broke, guys. Oh, I see how it broke. Oh, I am a tard. Okay, so every time the arm moves, this frame is moving and connecting with this wire right there. So remember what I said about adjacent wires? We can't do that. Wow, that's a complete fail on my part. That's how you troubleshoot your machine, though, at least. Now we know what the deal was. So now it should flawlessly bring the arm up and down. So let's go AU. There we go. Down. Down. Up. Up. And the cool thing about this is you can do capital commands. So you can say 2 times, like the number of times, and then the word times in capitalizations, and then AD. So it'll go down, and then it'll go down. So the whole thing moves down twice. And if we go over here and look, we can see that the entire thing is actually now touching the ground. Look at that. You can do the same thing for moving the arm up and down. So we can come over here and we can say, let's say, 3 times AU, and it will bring the entire platform up 3 times. Or, well, the mining head anyway. See? Now it's closed again. Actually, it can go up one more time. Yep. Look at that. Now our whole thing is completely closed. That's a wonderful thing, you guys. That is fantastic. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish this up really quick with the commands in the machine. I'm actually going to split this into 2 videos, you guys, and do a little bit of editing really quick here. Editing only to split the video in half. I'm going to post this in a 2-parter, I think, because this just took so long. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go, let's write another few programs. So we're going to say dig. Oh, we got to define the command. So we go : dig space. And then we're going to come down here, and we used light gray for this frequency, if you'll recall. Light gray right there. So light gray in our wool chain is like going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. Okay? So we're going to say dig is going to be 256 IOX set. 5 ticks, 256 IOX reset, And we only need to put 5 ticks here because all we're doing is pulsing the binding head, so we don't have to leave the signal on for any length of time. So it just flashes really quick and digs. Anything that's underneath gets chewed. That sounds kinky in some fashion, but I'm moving on here. So we let that compute. 256 IOX set, 5 ticks, 256 IOX reset. Looking good there. And to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do is we are going to put some dirt blocks just against here really quick, just so you can see. See all those dirt blocks that I just placed down there? So if we come up here and we say dig, that pulsed really fast, and look. Ha! All the dirt blocks are gone. And what they're doing is they're coming through the frames down here, and it gets filtered through those tube frames and put in this ender chest, which is sorted back at our applied energistics setup from earlier in the beginning of the first part of the video. So that's how the actual digging itself works. So what we do is we lower the arm all the way down. Is we're going to say, let's say 5 times AD, and it'll lower all the way down. See, look at that. Now we're touching ground. And then if I come up here and I say dig, bam. And you can see from right here that entire space. Look down there. Look underneath. That entire space just got dug out, and it's all coming up through the pipes. Look at that. You can see it coming through right there. And it's all coming in and getting sorted. See? It's getting stored onto our storage chips, our applied logistics setup. And then you can come up here and you could say down again. And the whole arm moves down again. Look at that. Look how fast and smooth that is. Now we're down a level. But you might be thinking, well, having to punch those commands every time is going to suck, and you're right. So what we do now is we define another command. We say drill, right? And then what we do is we say, to define drill, what we do is we say, now that we define words for arm down and up and for the actual digging, we don't have to type in the IOX sets for those anymore. All we have to do is we say we're defining the word drill as we're going to move the arm down. Actually, we'll dig first. We'll say dig. Drilling is digging, and then arm down. That's it. So now when we type in drill, it will dig up the level it's at and then move the arm down. And then what we can do is we can define the command cycle, for example, and we can tell it, let's say, what wire level are we at? 76? Up on the mini-map there? So we can tell it cycle, and we can say, let's just say, give it some big number. Let's say 100. 100 times drill. So we define those two words. So now if we type drill, it'll just move down one and dig. Did you see that? Now we're down another level. And there comes some more dirt. Now if we come up here, and we just say cycle, watch. This is the part I've been waiting and gearing up this entire thing to. All we do is we say cycle. Actually, before we say cycle, no, let's just do cycle. Cycle, bam. So now it's just digging. Now look how fast this goes, guys. This is the insane part right here. This is nuts. 1 second. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen, had a bit of a knock at the door, just had to check into things. But yeah, look how fast this frame is going. What I'm going to do really quick is drop an ender chest so we can actually monitor that chest down there. Oh wow, that's filling up horribly fast. The cool thing about this though is that when this chest fills up and can't accept any more, the block breakers can't send any more material. So you don't have to worry about your system overflowing, which is a beautiful piece of this. If the block breakers don't have anywhere to send their materials they're digging, then they just jam, and the machine can't move down anymore until the jam clears, because then the block breakers can operate again. But look how fast it just dug out this little piece here. That's insane fast right there. So that's just bouncing stuff around. Once that clears out, it's still sending signals from above. The computer that's controlling the arm didn't stop. It's just that it's waiting. It's just continuing to pulse signals to no avail. So what you're going to want to do to get items out of here faster, you're going to have to set up multiple of these chests. So let's just do that really quick. Let's grab ender chests. And we'll grab our import and export bus. Actually, we don't need the export bus at all. We just need the import and we need the cable. So let's just set up a few of these. Whoops. So we'll throw him there. We'll throw, we need space of 2. Throw another one here. And then we'll throw another space of 2. There we go. And then we'll wrench those up so that they're against the bottom of the chest. And then we'll put another one on all sides here. There we go. Connect this one. Connect that. Whoa, man. The latency. I gotta figure out what the deal is here before next video. Sure, this probably doesn't make for good YouTubing. There we go. So we will connect all these sides here, below and above. There we go. It's hard to shift click in specific precise points when your latency is a little bit high. Whoa. This is like a bad acid trip, guys. I don't even know what to say about this right now. Whoops. There we go. So there we go. Now all those are connected up through all the cords in the back. We'll just bring this over here. And this will just connect right to the machine. So that should definitely help this thing empty out a little bit faster. Now we got 3 of those. There's an even faster way to do it, and I'll get into that if we need to. But let's go check on the quarry here. Oh yeah, it's moving down. Oh yeah. That chest is clearing a lot quicker. The cycle ended, it looks like, though. So we'll want to turn on the cycle again. There we go. Just look how fast that digs, guys. That's a graphic glitch. Once we get down here, there we go, clear itself up a little bit. Yeah, look how fast it just chews through. This is a 15 by 15 section just instantly. Bam. Bam. I think our chest is overloading again. But yeah, look how fast that digs. Look how fast we dug this hole. Oh, now it's keeping up. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. One more chest, I think. This is not quite perfect. One more chest, and you'll just be golden. But look how fast that just drills down through there. That is insane right there, guys. That's why I love this frame quarry. And then as soon as that hits bedrock, then we'll just have to raise the arm up and move the platform. How deep is it? Let's see. 17? We're almost there. We're almost to bedrock. So now what we'll do is, now that we're basically to bedrock, let's give it another moment to clear out here. Oh, now it's finishing up its drill. How deep are we? 7. So we're standing on 7, which means that the frame part here is at 6, and that means the block breakers are at 5. So that's as deep as you get, because that's where the bedrock starts getting choppy. So that's as deep as this gets. Had a slight hiccup with the chests not emptying as quick as they should be, but hey, that's pretty neat, isn't it? Import bus. We'll do one more over here really quick. Let's place one here. And that should more than be enough now to keep this whole operation. Whoa. There we go. Because each of these import buses only pull stuff out of that chest so fast. There we go. That should take care of it. So, that is the frame quarry in a nutshell. And then all we got to do to mine some more is we got to define a cycle really quick to bring the arm up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get colon, and we're going to say raise to raise the arm. And then we're just going to say 100 times AU. Okay? And look, we go raise. And it's not going to be exactly 100 because of the fact that, well, we have this here to stop it from raising past that point, right? But now all we do is we wait for the arm to lift up. And it's going to take a little bit longer than it took to lower it because of the fact that we have this repeater on here to delay this. So for whatever reason, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when you're drilling, this cord right here places and then moves the frame at the exact same moment, so it works perfectly. But when it lifts up, the block breaker sometimes will go before the motor. That's why you got to put the delay on there a little bit so that it can break the piece and then lift the motor. Or so it can lift the motor and then break the piece. That way it staggers those appropriately, otherwise the thing gets jammed up for some reason. Not quite sure why that works. If anybody else does, let me know in the comments below. Or, yodel. If you know what the deal is, you're within yodeling range, yodel me the answer. I will happily accept a yodel. That probably makes me sound kind of weird, but hey. Not that I like yodeling, I just like to see things that are different. And yodeling is definitely different. Hey, look, the arm is already almost up. In a second, guys, we will get to see this. I'm going to drill one more time, just because I want people to see it. Oh, we got to define commands for moving the platform, too. So while we're waiting for that to raise. So we had... What do we have here for the... So up is light blue, and down is magenta. So we're going to tell the computer... Oh, it's raising, so I can't... No. So I guess we got to wait for this to actually finish raising, guys. Terrible planning on my part. I was just so excited to show you guys how fast this thing digs. A maximum size quarry is a 64 by 64 area, so if you did 4 of these quarries, that took no more than 2 minutes. So you go 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes 1, 2 minutes 2. That'd be 30. So you got to go over 4 times, 16 times. So about a half an hour of work versus 8 hours for the quarry. I'd say this is way better. Let's go 15 times AU, because I'm not quite sure how far up it was. So was that 3 or 4? I don't know, I wasn't counting. This video has drug on so unbearably long, guys, that I just not even counting anymore. Now, fantastic. I think we could turn down the delay on this a little bit. That might help us out. 2. You have to put all the commands in caps, except for the ones you define, because they're case sensitive. Oh yeah, That delay is way better. Ah! 1, 2 more. Oh yeah, that delay's not quite enough. Whoop. There we go. Really? Oh, because it hadn't broken the last block. Okay. You might have to tweak the timings a little bit, guys. Depends on your server, depends on your latency, depends on your computer, etc., so forth. So, magenta is going to be 1, 2, so it was going to be 4, and magenta was down. So we're going to say move, M for move, and we're going to say D for down. So we're going to move down, 1, 2, 4. So 4 IOX set, 5 ticks, 4 IOX reset. And then that's going to be... It takes the entire platform a few extra seconds to shift. So it has to shift, and then that motor has to move back in place. So you got to take into account how long it takes to move. I tend to do 60 ticks for the movement delay on the end. That usually seems to be about good for me. If you have really, really super fast computer and interwebs, you could probably have done that down to 40 to 50. If you really slow, have a lot of latency, you might want that to be more like 70 or 80. But a couple second delay is good. So now what you do is you just go M for move, or whatever your command is. Again, you could put, you could put titty sprinkle penis cakes if you wanted to, as long as you kept in mind that's what that command was. But so, all you do is you're going to do this for every one of those colors for moving up and down, left and right, and side to side, forward and back. So just do all that command. I'm actually going to pause the video and do that really quick, and I'll just show you what I've done. So this thing's drug on twice as long as it should. So hang on 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, took a quick minute to finish that up. As you can see, we've got M for move, and then we've got up. We did down first, and we got up, west, east, north, and south. And those are just based on the colors of the wires for the codes, as I mentioned how to count those out. So no big deal there. So now all we need to do is we need to tell this thing where to go. So if we take a quick look at the terrain here, let's say we wanted to move this thing, let's say we want to move it south and keep going, keep digging. And as we know that this mining head is 15 wide, so we want to just move it over 15. So we should say 15 times move south. And the whole thing will shift and get stuck because I obviously didn't put something somewhere properly. Oh. Yeah, I see what I did. Oh, man. So we're leaving behind our tubes up here. See, that's why you should test everything as you go. Hey, Shun. Yeah, Shun? You know, you should test everything as you go, right? Really? Why? Well, because then if something goes wrong, you'll see it before you admit it making a big mistake on Blunder on national YouTube, and everybody laughs at you. Oh. Yeah, I guess that might be pertinent. Thanks. Thanks for that tip, me. Yeah, no problem. So what happened was I didn't actually have these 3 frames right here connected to the actual platform itself. It was sitting over this wire. That's all it was doing. It was sitting over the wire, and so it wasn't actually touching anything. So when the whole platform shifted, it left those where they were. And then it caught on the motor here. So I actually have to move those again. But did we get all the way over? No, that delay's a little weird, so we gotta move south 2 more times. But hey, at least it didn't get stuck. At least we know it's moving. So we're gonna, let's say 2 times move south. What? Oh, I put Tim's. 2 Tims, guys. We gotta move Tim twice. I mean, you know, he might want to not stay where he's at. You know. All right, so let's get these tubes out of the floating in the midair there. And then, oh man, brutal. We're gonna put those back where they were, like so. And I'm actually gonna clean up my inventory a little bit here, really quick. We don't need most of this anymore. Don't need the battery boxes. Don't need the motors. Shouldn't need most of the colors of wires at this point, or the repeaters. So let's just trash those really fast. Need to hang on to the orange wire because we got to fix that. There we go. That's a lot better. So, we need to move the deployer. Oh, and I don't know what this is about. This is just a glitch. This never actually got fixed. It was a glitch in 1.4.7 when red power hit. It's creating a blank unnamed every time it does stuff. I'm not sure why, with the frame moving and deployer and block breaking and stuff. So just ignore that. You might have to empty that out every now and again. I never had a problem with it when I was playing, so it's not a big deal. So let's actually pop these off of here. And we'll connect these over that wire, like so. We will need a new deployer. So let's drop him right there. Wrench that. Screwdriver that, rather. There we go. Now we should be in business. And we'll just cover that bad boy up with some panels. Cover that bad boy up. We don't need no raw frames sticking out here. We like aesthetics in this game, or at least in these build videos. We like everything to look nice and sweet. There we go. And then, of course, we have to move the motor. Okay. Motor. Because, you know, I just trashed it a minute ago, so obviously I'm going to need it now, right? We can trash these blank unnamed, too. You don't need those. We'll stick these frames back in here. We'll stick the motor right there. Screwdriver that so it's facing the correct direction. There we go. That is some terrible latency, guys. Then we'll oh, man! There we go. Now everything should be nice and smooth. Now next time you go to move the platform, you shouldn't be leaving bits of it hanging in the air. Like that awkward moment when you reach your hand out to shake somebody's hand and then they don't do anything and just stare at you and you aren't sure what to do with your hand. And then you have the brief moment of wonderment if you should put your hand in your pocket or you know, maybe down your pants. Then you just got to figure out what to do with yourself and hopefully they turn away before you actually decide to put it down your pants. Cycle. Bam. Now we're going to see just how fast this thing digs, and we're going to see it from this side. Or we're not going to see anything because it stopped working immediately. Why did it stop working immediately? This thing is stuck on. Guys? Yeah, guys? Oh, now what, game? Come on. That motor isn't moving. It has power, it has signal. It was cycling a few moments ago. Transmitter's blinking. Block breakers are blinking. Oh. What the... Alright, well first I gotta fix those pipes for one thing, but why did the whole platform just move down? Did you guys see that? The whole platform just moved down. What in the dick? What am I missing? I'm missing something here. Well, the whole platform moved down because I had a hold of this frame which just moved down. Why is that frame now sticking to the platform? Shouldn't be sticking to the platform. I didn't change any part of that platform. I didn't change anything, guys. What's it doing? Ah! Okay. One of my friends who watches this said I shouldn't scream into the microphone. I then told him, no, I should probably scream more into the microphone. So that should make him happy. Oh! Ah, noob! Noob! Oh, man. Oh, that is awful. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see what happened there? When this thing deployed that first frame, it got stuck on this, which stuck the whole platform. Oh, noob! Not editing, don't even care. Should be obvious, I know what I'm doing by now, just, I guess I don't really know what I'm doing is all. Or, some version of that whole sentence that makes sense. It's Minecraft, this stuff happens. So I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to come up from right here to keep a hold of those. And we'll cover those up with panels as well. Assuming I can click in the right spot from all this latency that we're getting. Sour about that latency. Absolutely sour. Let's cover all these up, guys. Oh, come on. Just a few more minutes video. We're almost done, I promise. And then I'll kick you in the junk. I mean shut you down so you have a nice solid hurting sweaty balls because of that kick in the junk. I mean shutting down. There we go. Now, seriously, guys. Seriously. Are we going? No? Why aren't we going? Oh, because I never put the wire back. That might help. There, now we're going. Now at least we can watch this from the side, though. Look at this. Kazonk. 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 You can't tell me this isn't more fun than watching a regular Quarry move, guys. It's a beautiful, wonderful, amazing thing. It just covers so much ground all at once. And I like that it can't get stuck. Why am I... Oh my gosh! It's impossible! What is going on? This is not playable. Oh, that's getting a little overflowed, so we would still even need one more chest to withdraw from all at once. Anyway, guys, the only downside to this, of course, is that it doesn't actually quite chew all the way to ground. You're going to have some of this redstone sticking up because it's going to stop at the last bedrock level. So some of this is still going to be here. You might have to come down here and mine out a little bit of this between the bedrock if you're that concerned about it. But hey, it's way faster. It's way more efficient. I like it 1,000 times better than a regular Quarry. And on that note, since I can't seem to keep my camera swung straight anymore, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. You have now seen how to do a frame Quarry. It's a giant, amazing, wonderful thing. I hope you liked it. I hope that you found it informative. I hope that my terrible jokes and horrible puns and raging about stupid things happening wasn't too big of a turnoff for you guys. Fun graphic glitches there. I can't even show you the graphic glitch because the mouse won't hold still. So, yeah. This has been the Frame Quarry. I think from here on, guys, I'm going to do 1.5.2 videos because that's the server we're playing on. I might do a multiplayer Let's Play or even a hardcore Let's Play coming up soon. But I do have a lot more Build Spotlight videos in mind, coming up with some of the new 1.5.